Dear ones, do you feel it too? The old world is collapsing and there's no use resisting it. This is the natural course of events. Very soon, the two worlds, the subtle and the dense, will become visible together. Of course, for supposedly very good souls, this transition might be turbulent, but we'll talk about that a bit later. What's more important is what's actually happening in our world right now. You send me a lot of questions about how the transition will happen. Those who are on low vibrations, if they don't die, then what other option is there? Those who are on high vibrations, even in their own civilization, will also go through a physical departure. Dark souls also try to scare you with the idea that the transition won't happen. In reality, nothing supernatural will occur. All this talk about the transition is meant to awaken you to the truth. Yes, the transition is indeed happening, but it is happening constantly, always. We are continuously moving and always transitioning somewhere. We leave one place behind and arrive in another place. The solar system is not standing still. Our planet is constantly in motion. We are hurtling through space at an incredible speed. These are scientific, astronomical, and physical facts. The peculiarity of the current moment is that we are leaving the most distant point of our path. Our movement, like the movement of all celestial bodies, does not follow a circle, but an ellipse. Just as the moon orbits the Earth, we follow an elliptical trajectory. And the distance to the center of our universe, let's call it God, so it's clearer to everyone, is constantly changing. This center of the universe is located at a specific point. When our distance from it is at its maximum, dark times come, a night. When we approach the center, a bright era begins, a golden age. And right now, humanity is at a critical point. We have just passed the most distant point of our path, which means the darkest, the coldest one. In this era, dark forces seized control over our world. Our planet is isolated from the rest of the cosmos, and we exist in a reality where everything is turned upside down. But that point is already behind us. We have turned around and are moving back toward the light, toward the source, toward the golden age. Many mistakenly believe that after night, day comes immediately. But in reality, after night comes morning. After all, we have 4 times of day, 4 seasons of the year. In the same way, there are also 4 ages. We are not entering the golden age directly yet. We are experiencing the dawn of morning. And as is well known, darkness becomes especially thick just before dawn. And here is another important point. Our planet is currently isolated. This is no secret. The pandemic made this perfectly clear. Remember the words, please put on your muzzle. There is still potential for development, but for many, only annihilation and reincarnation lie ahead. There is no longer any point for their souls to remain in these bodies. And we are living on a global scale in a state of isolation. The collective consciousness of humanity is infected with a serious virus and negativity. This is obvious. What kind exactly? The virus of consumerism, of unchecked consumption. We have become estranged from our true nature. Dark forces, demons, and evil spirits have seized control over our inner territory, and people are walking into the embrace of darkness. This is clearly seen in the example of dulled instincts. Any animal seeing a collapsing building will run away in a hurry and even in advance. People, on the other hand, pull out their smartphones, come closer, and willingly visit energetically heavy places, prison museums, cemeteries, abandoned hospitals. They allow open communication with destructive, infected loved ones, clients, colleagues, and then they're surprised when they no longer feel like themselves. Dear ones, pay attention to the following signs that control over your inner world has shifted to destructive programs, to those very dark ones. I am presenting the list that was given to us of lower and higher qualities. Today I will name for you the 3 main aspects of the dark that need to be cleansed. The first is the mental aspect. This is the mind that has gone out of control. An unmanageable psyche, chaotic thoughts, obsessive ideas. When a person has stopped being the master of their own mind, and thoughts come into their head on their own, taking charge over them. The second is emotionality. This is a captured emotional nature. Uncontrollable desires, passions, urges. When emotions control a person rather than the person controlling their emotions. And the third is the physical aspect. This is when the body dictates its terms to the soul. Addictions, patterns, instincts in a distorted form. And the most important understanding. Darkness is those aspects of ourselves that we do not control. It is our shadow, a sub-personality program that we are unaware of and mistakenly consider to be ourselves. Now, the most important thing, the farthest point is already behind us. We have turned around and begun moving back toward the source, toward the light, toward the golden age. We are not entering the golden age directly. Right now, we are experiencing the twilight before dawn. And as anyone who has ever witnessed a sunrise knows, just before the sun rises, the darkness becomes especially thick and dense. This is exactly what is happening to humanity right now. Many people are now experiencing what, in ancient mystical traditions, is called the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is not a collective phenomenon. It is a deeply personal, highly individual experience. This is what happens to a person right before their spiritual awakening. This concept comes to us from the Christian mystical tradition, but the phenomenon itself is universal. It is described in all the spiritual teachings of the world. Many modern people confuse spirituality with something easy and pleasant. Psychedelic journeys on drugs, euphoric states, ayahuasca, buying tarot cards and laying them out, or buying crystals and fighting. But none of this has anything to do with spiritual awakening. True spiritual transformation is something else entirely. From my personal experience and from working with thousands of people, a person comes closest to true spirituality at the moment of facing your own clinical death or the death of a loved one. When illusions collapse, when you lose everything, when all your supports have crumbled and there is nothing left to lean on, that is when the true dark night of the soul really happens. Deep transformations take place, everything false burns away, and all that is superficial dies off. And you know what? That's exactly why we came here, for transformation. Our souls chose to incarnate at this very time in order to go through this unique experience of planetary transition. The events of recent years have been systematically leading us toward these transformations. It is becoming unbearable for people to remain unconscious. What could once be ignored is now coming to the surface and demanding our attention. There is only one main question that determines absolutely everything else. Who am I really? All the other questions we ask, all the problems we worry about, all our fears and desires, these are all questions of the false ego, of the superficial personality. You can answer intellectually right now. I am a soul, I am a spiritual being. But these are just words, a concept, an idea. This does not bring you liberation. It is necessary to truly realize this, to have a living experience, a direct encounter with your true nature. Not just to understand it with your mind or repeat after someone else, but to know it with your whole being. Every person has a physical body, that's obvious. But everyone also has 7 bodies, 1 physical and 6 subtle energy bodies. All of them are interconnected, they influence each other. And the most important thing is to understand the difference between the soul and the spirit. Almost no one understands this. The spirit is the divine spark, unchanging and eternal. For the spirit, there is neither death nor birth. It is pure consciousness, pure being. It is light. The soul is the individuality that evolves through the experience of incarnation. The soul accumulates experience, emotions, transforms, and purifies itself. If we speak in terms of gender, the spirit is the masculine principle, the core, the unchanging foundation, while the soul is the feminine principle, fluid, changeable, emotional. Dear ones, if this information resonates with you, if you feel ready for real transformations, I invite you to join our channeling marathon. Registration is open right now. The link is below this video or in the pinned comment. Don't miss this opportunity. We are living in a unique and turbulent time where if you don't try new spiritual practices, all matter will ultimately collapse. Use this moment for your awakening. See you at the marathon.